Excuse me, Victor Bailey can't come up with it.
What a great job by Devin McDonald, number 57. Rookie out of Notre Dame. He comes in. They want to run that cross screen. What happens is they line Herschel up on one side, bring him across the formation. McDonald just went through Herschel, through the blockers, and put pressure on Bristol.
Clarence Verdun waiting for the punt. Two-time Pro Bowler, but it's been a down year for him, averaging only 6.1 yards a catch. And they will blow this one dead.
Prior to the snap, the left tackle, 5 yards, still 4th down.
So that'll make it 4th and 11.
Remember that crowd that wasn't making much noise before? They're making some noise now.
I said, give them a chance.
I apologize. I really do. I apologize. They're getting a little loud now.
Tell you what, this is a pretty good crowd of 45,000 people for a team that's had the kind of year the Colts have had against the Eagles, who come in 5 and 8. No rush on Feagles, and he gets away another beauty. Another flag is down. Verdun looking for room. Nothing there. Stopped at the 20 after a 48-yard punt. We'll check the penalty. Illegal man downfield. They'll have to do it again. So twice in a row, Feagles has gotten off boomers. Now I have to do it the 3rd time.
Larry Pasquale, the special teams coach, doesn't like it.
Since you're not returning punts well all year, even though Verdun is a quality proven guy, and Feagles is kicking the daylights out of the ball, do you think about going after one?
I think on 4th down and 10, yeah. Because what do you usually wind up with? A running into the kicker penalty, which is not an automatic 1st down, and just a 5-yard penalty.
Now it's 4th and 16, backed all the way up to the 27-yard line. Colts don't show rush. They had double coverage on the outside receiver.
The other side of it, though, Mike, is when you've got a dangerous return man, you have to give him a chance to do something with the football.
Feagles, another high but a shorter kick. Verdun got one step. Guess who? Herschel Walker was the man who forced him off his feet after a punt of 44 yards. Is he good or what? Another day at the office, and he is good. On his way to being the MVP again, you would think.
I'll tell you, there's another guy who's done a pretty good job tonight, who's pretty darn good, is Herschel Walker. First of all, he comes out, he makes a block on Heath Sherman's touchdown run. Then they're backed up in their own end. Well, you don't want to let him block all the time, so you hand him the football. He picks up about 20 yards turning the outside. Then when you need a 3rd down completion and you only need about 3rd and 6, you may as well throw him the football. And then, gee whiz, he hasn't done this. Let him go down and cover a punt and force Clarence Verdun to fall down. I mean, he's done everything tonight.
He is so much faster than he looks. Takes those little short steps. Never lifts his feet off the ground. George over the middle and right in the hands of Kerry Cash. He dropped it. Let's take a look at Jeff George's face on this one. He has got to be starched. That was a great throw.
It really was. All you can do is put the football in places where people make catches. They've got the middle of the field. The Eagles are giving it to them. The ball's in the air.
Catchable ball.
Gee whiz. We've seen a lot of gee whizzes tonight.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it's
liberal translation.
It is so frustrating to do that.
2nd and 10. Out in the flat to Langhorne. Got the great hands he hangs on, but little Mark McMillan bangs his legs out from under him.
See, the problem is if you can't hit passes down the middle, you're forced to throw outside where McMillan and Allen are sitting there in 2 deep coverage, which means the safeties are up close to the line, and you're going to get no gains or hardly any gains. The safety's sitting there waiting. You've got to put pressure in the middle of this defense to force them out of 2 deep zone.
3rd and 10. And the Colts simply not getting it done on offense, mainly because of dropped balls. George rifles another one. This not a good throw behind Langhorne. 1 yard in the third quarter. Count them. 1.
I just think what it is the Colts are being forced into throwing the football when the Eagles know they're going to throw. And they're not coming up with the catches. We said it in the first half, Mike. That's just continued for them in the second half.
Well, like you've always said, you have to make plays, and they've had several opportunities and have not made plays. Ron Stark crushes another one. Sikahema from the 17. Stopped in his tracks at the 23 after a 55-yard punt. Stephen Grant, the backup linebacker, stuck him. Coming up, NFL Game Day next Sunday at noon, and you'll get a preview of everything going on throughout the NFL. Then at 7 o'clock prime time, all the highlights of all the games as we get into the playoff crunch. And then we will be in Minnesota for Christmas. And if the Kansas City Chiefs win next week, they win the division. The Vikings with a big win against Green Bay stayed alive this week. They'll try to do the same thing next week in that very uncertain NFC Central Division. Sherman and Walker are the backs. 2:33 to go third quarter. Sherman brought down by Bickett as he got to the 30-yard line.
Bubby back there looking like one of those triple option quarterbacks. Handing off with 2 hands.
Take a look at the numbers on Herschel Walker, what he has done tonight. It has been his most versatile season since he was at Dallas and was used this way. 8 rushes, 45 yards, 6 catches, 29. 1 kickoff return was a touchback. Couldn't get his hands on another one. 1 special teams tackle. And now he's in there playing fullback with Heath Sherman at tailback. And Sherman doesn't get much, but it should be enough for a first down.
It's just a great matchup between Jeff Herrod and Herschel Walker.
It is.
2 really good, solid, sound football players. Watch this. Walker's to your right. He's going to come flying in. They're going to meet right there, and that's where the play's going to stop. Meet me at the pass. There's the collision. This time Herrod gets under Herschel, stands him up. His teammates have a chance to make the tackle.
It is a first down for the Eagles, who lead at 17-3, trying to go to 6 and 8. Remember, mathematically, they are still alive for a wild card spot. They just have to win their last 3 and hope. Sherman behind a great block by Walker and gets about 9.
Here's that triple option quarterback, Bubby Brisker. There's the glove protecting his hand. Now, he can't do it to the left, so there we go with the handoff. Rich Kotite standing on the sidelines just waiting for disaster to strike. And Bubby's just, I am amazed. I've tried to do that from time to time. Sometimes when you get pivoting the wrong way, you try and do it. And I've had nothing but bad things ever happen, and he's just executed it perfectly.
Colts defense has to turn in a big play here somehow because their offense has been totally inept. Brisker with time. Intended for Bailey, and good coverage by Eugene Daniel. Couple of good corners on this Colts defensive unit.
And you know, Mike, I'm thinking about the Colts. If they're going to be without Ettman last year, they switched from a 3-4 defense to a 4-3 because of Steve Ettman. If you're not going to have him next year, Quentin Coriat played inside linebacker at Texas A&M. Herrod was an inside linebacker to 34. I'm wondering if Rick Venturi, if you're going to be short that down line, then maybe you go back to the 3-4, because you've got some pretty darn good linebackers.
I think Siragusa would make an outstanding nose man. There's Entman. He will have further surgery in January. Totally blew out a knee, hurt the other knee the year before. Here's a guy whose motor goes 100% all the time. I just have tremendous respect for him as a player with the attitude he has, not to mention the physical skills that he has. And it's a shame for the Colts and for him that he's been hurt both years.
He hopes he can get back to the latter part of '94, maybe play a little bit, but he's probably going to wind